Hey, to whoever may need this nugget of encouragement, things will be alright, so quit your worrying. I get it, the odds seem stacked back against the wall, but even consider it such, know you'll stand tall. Sat and watch from the sidelines one too many times. Wicked games to play make me wanna lose my mind. Found solitude knowing it'll be over soon. Ever need a boost, count on me for the 1-2.
Welcome to the Suplex Sports Podcast. It's your boy Mish back at it in full effect as we are on our epic journey here on YouTube and into the 24-25 NBA playoffs. Underway, already deep into the playoffs as is. We're going to get into it and go over these current matchups. One matchup is currently over. It was a clean sweep by the Oklahoma City Thunder against the Memphis Grizzlies. If you guys could just take 1 second out of your time to hear that, hit that share button, that like button, and subscribe button here to the Suplex Sports Podcast as we are here on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, X, as well as Spotify and Apple Music, and any and everywhere you can find the Suplex Sports Podcast. Okay, so with that said, we're going to go ahead and get into it with the NBA playoffs. As I just stated previously, one series is already complete. The Oklahoma City Thunder ran through the Memphis Grizzlies. Clean sweep 4-zip. Right now, OKC is a proverbial favorite to come out of the West. They look pretty strong, firing on all cylinders. They currently, right now, have some rest in between, waiting for the next series to take off. In that respect and regard, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is pretty much looking like he just may be the MVP of this year with his play. As well as I just want to shout out that whole entire team. Big acquisition with Isaiah Hartenstein, Chet Holmgren back into the fold. And they look good, decent bench. Right now, I think it'll be very, very difficult for any team, East or West, to take down OKC in a 7-game series. But we shall see as Memphis is headed to Cancun. And no, I didn't get an invite. So what does this mean for OKC and Memphis? Well, OKC, proverbial favorites. Like I said, they get the rest going forward as they wait their next matchup. In terms of Memphis, I think that a lot is going to be made about Ja and the things that happened with Ja this past during the season, and we know that Ja has had issues in the past few seasons. With this most recently with the gun pointing gesture or celebration. I don't know if Ja's time in Memphis is done, but I think that I won't be surprised if they do go ahead and explore some different trades for Ja and what they could potentially get in return. Memphis is a pretty well team, I think, young team. Do need possibly another scorer to complement Ja going forward. But like I said, I don't know if Ja is going to stay in Memphis. I think maybe the Memphis brass has gotten a little bit too fed up of dealing with the scrutiny that Ja has placed upon the organization over the last few seasons with his antics. And a brand new scenery for him just may help him, even if that means sending him out over to Utah and getting him a little bit humble, in a different surrounding or different environment. But I think a lot is going to be taken a look at regarding it in the off season, and ultimately we wish the best for Ja going forward, but ultimately we do want to see Memphis take that proverbial next step in which we thought that they were actually taking over the last couple of seasons. We do know that Ja was injured last year, and they had quite a few injuries last season, as a matter of fact, which hindered them progressing forward. I thought there was a lot of hope coming into the season with them progressing forward, and it just didn't seem like they can get the traction all the way there. Especially with the I believe their head coach was let go as well during the season, which was pretty intriguing as well. But it's neither here nor there. So I think it's going to be an interesting story going into the off season in terms of what happens with Memphis and Ja. All right, moving on. If you didn't see last night's game between the Clippers and Denver, it was a classic. As Denver essentially led the whole entire game as much as double digits. I mean, they had the Clippers in a vice. And shout out to Kawhi and Zubac and Harden, that whole entire team. They made a miraculous comeback to eventually take a 1-point lead. Unfortunately, they couldn't hold the lead. Thought it was going to go potentially into overtime. And with the last couple of seconds left, Nikola Jokic threw up a prayer three-pointer, which seemed to be completely off. And it was Aaron Gordon to catch it and dunk it at the buzzer to go ahead and get that series tied up 2-2. I think this is a potential series that can go 7. Nikola Jokic has been playing out of his damn mind. I know I just made mention of Gilgeous Alexander potentially being the NBA MVP, but Nikola Jokic, man, this guy, triple doubles, double doubles, averaging 15 plus rebounds a game, man. This guy's a machine. So it's going to take a group effort for the Clippers to go ahead and take down Denver. Zubac did a pretty decent job of trying to defend Nikola Jokic, but Nikola got some damn good footwork for a big as well. Really good footwork. So I do see that this series could potentially go 7. It's just going to be very, very intriguing going forward. Mind you, Denver did play without Russell Westbrook last night. So going into Game 5, we'll see if the Brody gets back in and see where things go from there. Detroit and New York, Pistons and the Knicks. Right now, the Knicks is up in that series 3-1. Karl Anthony Towns has been playing out of his mind, him along with Darren Brunson. It looks like the Knicks are poised to take that next step into the second round of the playoffs, provided they do get by Detroit. Detroit's been a young, good team coming into the season. One of the more surprising teams coming into the season. A lot of grit, a lot of fight that they put up. Tobias Harris, Cade Cunningham. Unfortunately, it just seems as though New York got a lot of firepower, and Detroit essentially can't match. But games have been close. They have been pretty close, and it seems as though New York essentially starts to pull away towards the end. But this is another series where I'm not gonna say it's gonna go six games. For that matter, I think it could potentially be over as Game 5 shifts back to New York, with New York up 3-1. But for what it's worth, Detroit's had a phenomenal year. They're a really good young team. I think they're up and coming, maybe another piece away from taking the next step further into the playoffs and going a little bit deeper with their young core. And for what it's worth, you see good things happen, but let's see if that whole entire New York and that Villanova squad that they got over the offseason, minus Dante DiVincenzo, see if they can go ahead and propel themselves forward into the second round. Okay. Milwaukee, Indiana. Well, it was sad to see Damian Lillard go down in the first quarter last night, non-contact injury. It was reported and has now been confirmed that Dame Lillard has torn, I believe, his left Achilles, which means essentially his season's done, year's done for him, and which means a lot of rehab and seeing what happens next for Dame going into next season. He very well may be rehabbing into next season, and could essentially make his Milwaukee Bucks debut later on next season, depending on his timetable and his rehabilitation, how things go into effect for him. Prayers up for Dame in that regard. As we now turn our focus to the Milwaukee Bucks, as they are down 3-1 to the Indiana Pacers. I think the Pacers pretty much has this wrapped up. The Pacers, they're not the same Pacers team from last year. Yeah, I believe they learned from their mistakes in the playoffs last year. And, this was a pretty good matchup between Milwaukee and Indiana. Kind of like they're not too far from each other in terms of state somewhat. So it's a good rivalry within the division. But Indiana at this point, they have too much firepower. And Milwaukee, they just can't keep up. They just can't. Indiana is going to take this series. And as... Done deal?
Yeah, done deal.
Okay, well, Zay said it's a done deal. Well, with that being a done deal, I think we turn now to the future of Giannis and whether or not Giannis is going to stay in Milwaukee or not. Past couple of seasons have been very disappointing for the Milwaukee Bucks. We all know about the big acquisition of Damian Lillard last season, which meant that they got rid of an integral piece of their championship team, a la Drew Holiday, which ended up with the Boston Celtics, and we all see how that turned out with the Celtics raising banner number 18 in that regard. It just seems as though after that trade, Milwaukee really hasn't found their footing. We're not going to go ahead and stop, blaming Coach Doc Rivers for his philosophy and how things have been played out in Milwaukee. I just simply think that Milwaukee needs to get a little bit younger, and they need to get a little bit more hungrier as well. Shout out to Bobby Portis. Shout out to my man Brook Lopez as well. Holding it down and being the leaders that they are. I don't think that Kyle Kuzma has really panned out the way that they hoped that he would pan out with him coming over from Washington earlier in the year. So in that regard, I think there's going to be a lot of conversation. And who knows? Giannis could potentially get dealt at the deadline next year, kind of like how Luka Doncic got dealt. I think the way and how the season is going to progress or start next season will probably dictate that. Knowing that Giannis is getting up there a little bit and he wants to still compete at a very high level and go deep into the playoffs, as he can definitely provide, a double-double on any given night. So I think going into the offseason, that's something to definitely look at. And I don't think anybody really predicted Milwaukee would slide this much as they've been atop of the Eastern Conference over the last 4 odd seasons. So this has been a major step back for Milwaukee, especially with Dame getting hurt. So I do see them taking a step back this offseason, getting some new personnel and trying to make another go at it. Like I said, I just don't think if Milwaukee doesn't have a good record going into next year, or getting off to a fast start, strong start, and going into February near the All-Star break, we could potentially see Giannis getting traded. But right now, as Zay said, that looks like a done deal. With if you all can see what he's doing, he's doing the rock gesture, so that's pretty much a done deal. All right, the Boston Celtics are currently up on the Orlando Magic 3-1 right now in their series. Very interesting because the Celtics have played a game without Jason Tatum, and has also played the last few games without Drew Holiday. So with that, the Celtics does have a current 6-man of the year. Peyton Pritchard is coming off the bench raining threes. Al Horford, turning back the clock. Healthy Kristaps Porzingis. Jaylen Brown has been having knee issues, but solid performance by Jaylen Brown as well as Jason Tatum. As this series shifts back to Boston for Game 5. I pretty much think that that's over and done with. Good year for Paolo Banchero and Franz Wagner. as they held it down as much as they can for Orlando. Orlando is another good young team that is probably another piece away. I think that if they could use a solid or get a solid six-man off the bench or a second unit player, they can potentially raise some more eyebrows a little bit. But the sky's the limit for Orlando. They're hungry, they're young, do have a few injuries on their end as well. I believe it's Jalen Suggs, I believe is out as well, and Mo Wagner as well. But but so far, very good season for Orlando. There's nothing for them to hang their heads about, and they're getting better. And I think we're going to see the Orlando Magic in the conversation for the next seasons to come, as they are powered by Paolo Banchero and Franz Wagner. Franz Wagner's got a good shot too, and not for nothing. Just a little side note: watching Banchero, to me, he looks like a more athletic Carmelo Anthony to me. That's just what I see. Minus the braids, of course. Minus the braids. He has a very good all-round game, inside, outside. Does play a little defense. Does get some boards as well. The sky's the limit for Paolo, and I can't wait to see what happens with the Orlando Magic going forward. They're going to be a force to be reckoned with, provided they get the right pieces in place. But it's been a good season, and pretty much, Zay, are we gonna give him the rock slit your throat? Oh well, we're doing it. Orlando, it's done. It's done. They got their flights packed ready and shuttling off to Cancun.
See ya.
Gone fishing, baby. Gone fishing. All right. Can't wait to talk to one of our longtime listeners and friends of the show, who does chime in. Woke yourself, as he is a Los Angeles Lakers fan, super fan at that, and currently the Los Angeles Lakers are down in their series to the Minnesota Timberwolves 3-1. Yeah, I didn't really see it going down like that. After the Lakers took the first game, I was like, they're gonna probably make a little noise. And as one would expect, to some regard, Anthony Edwards, Rudy Gobert, and company, they won 3 straight. The take 2 out of LA. That was really something. I didn't expect it at all. I expected this series honestly to be tied, but right now Anthony Edwards is playing out of his mind. Putting up 43 points. And I just think the Lakers have ran out of gas. I think they've run out of gas. During that last game, Game 4. JJ Redick, he didn't make any substitutions at all in the second half, going with the same 5 starters, and I think that hurt them in the long run. Honestly, I think it also showed that you don't have any confidence in your bench as well, to come in and contribute, and essentially it's been a detriment. We all knew when the Lakers got rid of Anthony Davis, the biggest thing was to lock up the middle, the anchor on defense. And they had Mark Bryant at one point, let him go, and then they made a trade with the guy from Charlotte, I think Williams, I believe. And that trade got rescinded. They had a physical and seen something they didn't like and sent him back to Charlotte. Dalton Connect came back to LA, and now it shows. It shows that the Lakers are missing a legit anchor in the middle. I think with defensive presence in the middle, it frees up LeBron and Luka. In terms of the wings, I think they struck out with acquiring Gabe Vincent as well. And for what it's worth, last season or early in the year, there's been a lot of talk about Dalton Connect. And, since Dalton Connect has essentially came back to LA, he hasn't, had that same aura that he had prior to going. And, and it's been very, very much understandable, being essentially traded away from somebody said that, you could take it saying they don't want you, or, just a business move in general. And, coming back, it could, maybe playing your psyche a little bit. But at the same time, you should just take that as an audition for the other teams that may actually want you in general. But going forward, I think that this is a done deal. I don't see the Lakers coming back, winning 3 straight games and beating Minnesota at all. And in that regard, the Lakers do get knocked out of the first round. You could say, the trade for Luka essentially helped you get to the playoffs, but not get over the hump, so to speak. So in that regard, it would be hard to sit here and say that it was a complete failure. But you not getting to the second round, it's a failure. In terms of expectation, we all know LeBron ain't no spring chicken. We don't know how long LeBron has left in the league. We know LeBron is not a spring chicken. All right, we don't know how long LeBron's gonna still play in the NBA. In terms of face of the franchise, that's already in place with Luka Doncic, definitely. But other than that, I mean, it's a toss-up. I think there's going to be some moving parts, definitely. You're not seeing the same Hachimura that we seen early in the year last year as well. There's going to be some moving parts in LA, and there's going to be very interested to see what happens there, but I think they're gone fishing. Zay, are we giving them the rock sign too? Gone fishing. Don't see the Lakers coming back. 3 straight games in Minnesota. Of course, I've been wrong in some things before, but this I don't think I'm wrong with. I think a lot of people out there who are tuning in and listening can pretty much agree with what I'm saying. And, it's just going to be a long off season for the Lakers as they get themselves together and potentially rebuild and trying to get themselves their own banner number 18. But in terms of that happening and within the next season or two, I just don't see it unless there's a completely earth-shattering deal that's done in order for them to get back on top. If they was probably I don't even know if they have any assets to move, and depending on how this ends, but I mean, if they was the trade the whole lot for the next 6-8 years to try to move up and get Cooper Flag, that's probably the only possibility that I could potentially see. But I think that there's a glaring need for a defensive anchor in the presence of LA, and I think that is what hurt them in the long run, but can only help them going forward. So we'll see how that is definitely addressed. All right, my favorite series. I've been staying up for this. All right, cold Celsius in the morning. I put a Celsius on ice. Because I know when I get up and after I get up and get out the shower and wake up the body, I'm going to need to crack that bad boy. I'm staying up late to watch the Houston Rockets and Golden State Warriors series. Currently right now, Golden State is up 2-1. It's getting chippy. It's getting chippy. We all know the Draymond Green factor. Draymond Green and him and Jalen Green, respectively, they've been going at it. Words were said after the last game, after Golden State came out on top. For me, personally, I thought this was a get back series, and essentially is a get back series for Ime Udoka, head coach of the Houston Rockets. As we all know, in the lone season with Ime being head coach of the Boston Celtics and getting to the NBA Finals, the Golden State Warriors, they essentially, they went on a shooting spree and took over. So for me, I thought this is Ime's get back series. I think that this series right here has the potential to go about 7 good games, and I think it's going to be a bloodbath, the rest of the way through. Jimmy Butler is making a return as Game 4 is getting started later on this evening. Jimmy Butler is making his return from his pelvic injury. What's that say?
Which Jimmy are we getting?
Huh?
Which Jimmy are we getting? Get emo Jimmy.
I don't know what type of Jimmy we getting anymore, bro. Like, I don't know, man. Coming back from a deep pelvic bruise injury, sat out last game. Coming back this game, it's gonna be really, really intriguing as to how this goes down. Really intriguing as to how this goes down. But this is a fun one. We're watching Steph Curry do Steph Curry things, Draymond do Draymond Green things. Emo Jimmy, we got the aforementioned Dylan Brooks. I'm waiting to see Dylan Brooks and Draymond mix it up a little bit. That's what I'm waiting for. It's gonna happen. So I will be up. I will be up, a little groggy, but it'll be all worth it. This is the playoffs, and this is where sleep hurts so good. No Diddy on that, please. Some people say pause. Definitely. All right. And we could just call it now. We're just gonna go ahead and give the Rock slit your throat sign, Zay. Yeah, Miami. There's no point in getting ready to go on fishing, baby. You already there. You got the yacht club. You got the sunny beaches. You know what I'm saying? You got the South Beach. You got what's that? The King of Diamonds. You got all that good old stuff going on down there. I mean, it's done deal. Done deal in Miami. Done. They are getting swept by the Cleveland Cavaliers. As we are currently doing this show. Last I looked, Cleveland went up 43. It was 43-14 in the first quarter.
Damn.
43-14 in the first quarter, and this is without Darius Garland as well. So I see DeAndre Herter. I seen him put up 2 threes. I seen Donovan Mitchell put up 2 threes. I'm seeing Jared Allen do his thing. Evan Mobley do his thing. Cleveland is a force to be reckoned with, and I don't think that team should be overlooked as well. Coming out of the East, as much as I love my Celtics, Cleveland is a problem, and we knew that Cleveland was gonna end up being a problem this year coming in as well. You got two legit big dudes with Jared Allen and Mobley, Donovan, Garland. I mean. Getting Kevin Huerter at the trade deadline, a good wing to make it all come together. They're good. They're good. They look good. They look They look really good. Really good. So I think that's pretty much a done deal. Zay, can you just take a look at that score for me real quick, so I can just give a quick update? I'm pretty sure it's out of reach. That's the Cleveland Cavaliers and Miami Heat. Cleveland is currently leading that series 3-0.
It's Cleveland 106-57.
106-57?
Yep.
What quarter?
Third quarter.
Oh my, yeah.
Get it twice.
Done. Bye-bye. I have a picture that we're gonna go ahead and I'm gonna put up a picture as well. That picture when we was coming back from Jamaica and we stopped off in front of the Miami Heat Pro Shop in Miami. That's right. We will be uploading that. I could take the heat. When there's smoke, there's fire. That's right. All right. So that's what's happening with the NBA playoffs thus far. Pretty good. Pretty good. Moving right along. All right. So, of course, the whole Shedeur Sanders not getting drafted first round, dropped all the way down to the 5th round. We know, in the words of Abe Vigoda, who played Gus in the movie Sugar Hill, money got lost. Money got lost, baby. Money got lost. And then when we go ahead and look at things, we wonder how much influence Dion himself had to do with team selecting Shador and the proverbial comments that were made about not wanting either one of his sons to play in a cold climate team or market, so to speak, for whatever reasons. And a little was known that Shador and Shiloh, for that fact, that they did not sign with the sports agency. So their de facto agent was in fact Dion. And I guess some of the blame you could put on him. I think some of the blame you could put on Shador himself for the way he came off to a lot of the teams. But Shiloh being there as well, and decided to go ahead and take action. So essentially, he went ahead and before signing and going undrafted to the Tampa Bay Bucks, we do know that Shiloh fired his daddy. Yeah, Dion got the axe. Shiloh said, "Hey, Pop, I see what's going on here, bro. Well, we ain't gonna do this, man." So he went ahead and signed with sports agent Drew Rosenhaus, and essentially from there, Shiloh is now with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So, I mean, there's a lot to unpack. There's a lot to take away with that as well. With that situation, and if Dion wasn't the agent, and if Shador had a legitimate sports agent, is it possible that he would have went maybe the first 2 rounds? Potentially. Of course, we'll never know. The draft is all the way over now, and of course, Shador was drafted in the 5th round by the Cleveland Browns. Cleveland is going into this year with a stacked quarterback room. You have Deshaun Watson still trying to come back from his Achilles injury. They went out and essentially drafted a quarterback ahead of Shador, which had eyebrows raised then, and and now Shador is essentially on the team. So when it comes down to the offseason and going into next year, and who's going to be the number 1 quarterback, I think all eyes are going to be on the Cleveland camp, just to see how Shador plays, and if he's actually ready to take foot on an NFL field. Of course, we won't know per se until once he gets a preseason start. But we all know with the off-season programs, the mandatory mini camps and things like that, the rookie mini camps. I think we'll all get a chance to see what Shador can do, and essentially take it from there. And if he is as legendary as his moniker is portraying itself to be, then we should see Shador put up some numbers. But I'm just gonna let his play do all the talking for him, because I think that they've been talking enough these past few years. All right. Also, NFL news: Jalen Ramsey is still being shot by the Miami Dolphins. All-pro cornerback, big massive deal signed with Miami. Now Miami's trying to come up from underneath that deal, probably scale back that cap, go get some other players, or potentially look forward to building towards next season as well. So I think that probably a deal may get done before camp or during camp, but I think that's going to be something to look out for and watch. Very surprised that nothing did go down in terms of draft day. It wasn't the strongest draft, according to a lot of the experts. So not surprised that the Dolphins, didn't outright keep their picks. But at the same time, they made no deals involving Jalen Ramsey that I heard of as well. So I think they're going to probably wait around for the right deal that comes along, and then probably move him from there. If not, he can very well go into the season with the Miami Dolphins and could potentially be traded during the season as well. So I think that's something to watch out for. Also in relation to Shador, it was noted that Shador did get a prank phone call. He thought it was the call to him getting drafted. I believe this was day 2 2 or 3 when the call came in. I believe he was outside, having fun, staying loose. And, he got a phone call from an anonymous GM, quote unquote, or somebody to say that they was representing the New Orleans Saints and had told him just to hang on a little bit longer. So it did report that it was the son of the Atlanta Falcons defensive coordinator who had prank called Shedeur Sanders and, had him thinking that he was going to get drafted. Right now, it doesn't seem as though there'd be anything disciplinary happening to the defensive coordinator, of course. But, I guess his son reportedly had got a hold of his tablet that had his telephone number in it from pre-draft and things of that nature, and then went ahead and decided to make a whole ass out of himself with that. And it's pretty messed up, honestly. I think it's a little cruel. It was definitely cruel. You know what I'm saying? You sitting there waiting to have your name called to, join a proverbial NFL team, and not, be called. It sucks. It sucks. Is that Stephanie Vaquer? Lord. That's my new crush. That's my new crush. That's right. As we do have a little Raw in the background. But it's pretty messed up, man, that you're gonna sit here and do that to him or any other athlete that's waiting to hear their name called. I'm sure he's gonna get a swift talking to or be grounded for some time. Maybe not, depending on that situation. But yeah, man, that was pretty messed up. And I hope going forward that personnel takes the confidentiality of the draftees or potential draftees and their information. If they could take the information and be a little bit more discreet about it, so that doesn't happen again. Felt bad. I know some people was chuckling and laughing. I was like, damn, that's messed up, man. It was like you could see the hurt and sorrow in his eyes, man. And we all seen how his the number of people who was there to see him potentially get drafted. We seen how those numbers steady came down as the next couple of days went on. So in that regard, but yeah, messed up. Pretty messed up. All right. Not going to spend a lot of time talking on it because I've already said my piece on it. We was talking about the whole Shannon Sharpe situation. At the end of the day, Shannon's good. He's good for what he's doing on his platforms and his sponsorships that he does currently have. Haven't really seen too many people drop off of the bandwagon. I believe he did step down from ESPN, aka Disney, which was the smarter move considering two incidences within a year is more than enough, and anything else that comes with that. So I completely understands the nature of the situation, but I just want to say Shannon is a national treasure, and he's gonna be good in that regard. And I just want to say for myself personally, Zay, I don't know if you can speak for yourself, but I think I'm scared to try with them roll spots, boy. I think I'm scared to try one of them spots. I gotta.
I'm surprised they didn't drop him first.
Oh, duh. Oh, you kidding me? I think the Sparks right there.
I was like, let's sound like conclusion.
Oh, I think now there's gonna be a lot of cats, probably more inclined to try a Spark or two. The Blue Chew, the Spark, or whatever else have you. They got the honey packs. They got all sorts of stuff that they're advertising. I don't, at some point we're going to get there as men. We can't escape Father Time, but if it says it and does what it's supposed to do, then so be it. But I don't have a review to give. But if anything like that, then you all need to watch a little bit of that Nightcap, and until I can get me a nightcap, so to speak. All right. Prayers up for son of Gilbert Arenas, Elijah Arenas. Was involved in a fiery car crash. His Tesla Cybertruck, it looked like from the video he hit a fire hydrant, might have hit a pole. I seen water going everywhere. He was outside of his car, in water. I don't know if he suffered any burns or things like that, but thank God for the help of Good Samaritans and helping him get out that Cybertruck before anything devastating happened to him. He was placed in a medically induced coma. I believe he only stayed in that coma for a very short period of time. It was reported that he is up, walking, talking, and that he could be released very soon from the hospital. Elijah Arenas has committed to the USC Trojans program and would like to see the young man take the floor next season. Our salute, prayers up, Mr. Elijah Arenas, and to family of Gilbert Arenas. Thoughts and prayers are with you guys. Also, thoughts and prayers are with the Kevin Love family, as Kevin has lost his father, former NBA player Stan Love, at the age of 76. Thoughts and prayers are with Kevin Love, as he has been away from the Miami Heat for some time now, as he's been dealing with a personal family matter, and now it has been reported that his father Stan has passed away at the very young age of 76. Thoughts and prayers are with Kevin Love and his family at this time. Okay, guys, I need you to share, like, and subscribe here on the Suplex Sports Podcast. We do have a giveaway. We would like everybody to go ahead and hop in the giveaway. Just share, like, and comment done, and your name will be entered in the drawing as well for the giveaway. Currently, we do have WWE 2K25 game. That it has been reported and noted from our listeners overseas as well. If you win this giveaway, we will do what we could do to make it happen, to make sure that you do get your gifts overseas. You will receive your giveaway. All right, we will take care of it, the shipping and handling costs, the whole kit and caboodle. That's our thanks for you rocking with us. All right, once again, all we guys need you to do is just hop in, hit the share button, like button, subscribe button, and then comment done. You'll be automatically entered. 2K25 video game. There's also a Tenacity Studios hoodie. Crew neck that's in there as well. There's an Adidas hoodie in there. There's going to be a couple of pro cards in there as well, and some other trinkets.
2 Switch games. I'm giving 2 Switch.
Two Nintendo Switch games. That's being included to the giveaway as well. All right, and that's just for you guys rocking with us, and just our way of saying thank you to our 242 subscribers. Let's keep it going. Let's keep it growing. All right, thank you guys. Thank you. Suplex of the week. I can give it to Shay. I think we've already done that. I think we can give it to Dion, Shador. We could do that. I think we're gonna take the high road here. We're gonna go ahead and give it to the defensive coordinator's son from the Atlanta Falcons, who prank called Shador Sanders during the draft. People work their whole entire lives to get to that moment. It's no different from, me, you, or anybody else here out in the world going on the ends of you and just waiting for that phone call back to see if you got the job or not. It could be a little nerve-wracking. It could have you very, very anxious. on pins and needles, have you in some self-doubt about some things as well, and it takes a toll on mental health. And especially as us men, and who, some of us men, we don't like to come out and say that there is mental health issues and things of that nature, or scared to be open and talk about some things. Not to say that it could have happened, but to some degree it could have. It could have really messed with somebody's psyche. But at the same time, knowing that the athlete that Shedeur Sanders is, it should only fuel the fire for him to do better. So I plan on seeing him taking this negative, turning it into a positive. But yeah, I'm a suplex the young man who went ahead and made that prank phone call, completely uncalled for, and just put yourself in his shoes and say, what if it was to happen to you? So now you're a young kid, and now, granted your stature as a defensive coordinator's son, what happens if you want to pursue your sport, whatever sport you're in going forward, you have going forward and waiting for a phone call, And then what happens when you don't get that phone call? I'm pretty sure you wouldn't want Shedeur to give you a call, making a mockery of you. It sucks, man. It's another form of bullying. It sucks. It was uncalled for. In terms of defensive coordinator, there shouldn't be any repercussions that come his way. I just say that going forward, just be a little bit mindful of confidentiality and be mindful of other people's feelings and their moods at the same time, because I'm pretty sure it was a very stressful time for Shedeur, not knowing where he was going. And not knowing if he was going at all. I mean, fifth round is two rounds away from it being completely done. And then if it was done and he wasn't drafted, don't know if he can get himself back into school again, or the UFL's already started their season. You know what I'm saying? It'll be a little hectic, man. But yeah, I'm suplexing that whole entire situation, completely uncalled for. And I just hope that going forward, all organizations take confidentiality towards the young men who are being drafted a little bit more seriously, and so that this issue doesn't happen again. And that's pretty much it. That is my suplex. All right, folks, I just need you all one more time. Share, like, subscribe here on the Suplex Sports Podcast, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Spotify, everywhere, Apple Music, anywhere and everywhere you can find the Suplex Sports Podcast. Once again, do not forget to enter the giveaway. We're giving away some good things this year as a way of saying thank you to you guys who are keeping us going, our inspiration, and to keeping this pod going. And as we continue to move forward and hopefully push through the moon with this. This is the Suplex Sports Podcast. It's your boy Mish. And I'm going to see you guys next time.